everybody's talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies these days, but let's get real. Do you really understand what they're saying? Most of us don't, right? Is that fair to say? So to help us understand, we brought in finance expert David Lester to explain, well, basically everything. So, and good to see you, firstly.
Nice to see you, too.
So why don't we start at the beginning, just to give us some base knowledge about what Bitcoin is and how it started.
I'll teach you everything.
I'm ready.
So the first thing is just learning about Bitcoin. You have to do a little bit of a mind flip just to understand how it works. Kind of like when Napster started. Remember when all the music was like leaving CDs and records and going onto a computer? And people are like, what happens when I get a new computer? Do I have to buy everything over again? Do I take my computer into the car if I want to listen to music in the car?
So true.
So you have to do a bit of a mind flip. So that's where we'll start from. And so the founder of Bitcoin, his name is Satoshi Nakamoto, and he's a bit of a mysterious figure. It was started in 2009, January 3rd, which is my birthday, so I'm like a Bitcoin baby.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is kind of fun.
I still don't know what that means.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
I just made it up. And so he started it in 2009, and he was around for a year, creating the network and working on it, and then he just kind of disappeared. So the founder, and we don't even know if that's really his or her name, it was an alias, and so they were around for a year, and then they kind of disappeared. And the way that the network works is that it's a common ledger that people share, so it's on your computer, you download it, and then there's a blockchain that everyone who's part of the network can look into and self-monitor and see the transactions that are happening within the network, all of the Bitcoin holders.
Okay. So, but what is it? Like, what exactly is it, and how is it used?
Right. So it's a cyber currency, kind of like having a, just like again, like taking music. We're taking like a commodity and putting it into like the ethos, where it's like it's now being able to live on people's computers. It's not actually a physical thing like money is. It's more of a digital money, just like how music has become like a digital thing as well.
So how do you attach value to that then?
So the value, if you look at, a lot of people see it as a currency, and it's becoming more of like an asset, more kind of like gold or diamonds, where people are buying it and just holding on to it and seeing it increase in value. And the reason that it's increasing in value right now, there's lots of speculation around it, but it's because the way that our monetary system works now is based on debt. So there's like a Federal Reserve that has debt, and the banks have debt, and this is an asset-based product. And so seeing now that like homes in Toronto and the stock market are really high and inflated, institutional investors and other investors are seeing this as like a third place to kind of plop money and be able to spread the money around, like diversification.
Okay, so what are the benefits of Bitcoin?
Right, so one of the benefits is that it's cheaper for fees. So there's no middleman. So you can imagine going to your bank and then being able to have money go from your bank account to another bank account. You go through and everyone takes their little bit, right, for when it goes around. And then not only are they taking their little bit as money transfers from person to person, you also, if you want to turn it into US dollars or another currency, there's like more exchanges there. So because it's like one single currency, you save money on the exchanges going back and forth, and there's no kind of overlord. So it's able to go within, if you've downloaded the software and you have Bitcoins and you're able to participate in the ledger, then there's no one that can just like grab your Bitcoins, like a bank could seize it or the government can seize it. It's kind of like a free flow of that currency.
And there's a max out there, right, that you can attain.
So right now, they have a max of 21 million Bitcoins, and we're at like 16 million Bitcoins. So
who decided that? Like, who decided like 21 million was going to be the thing?
So the network did. So when they all get together, that's how they move things along. So when they all logged on and started developing the program, they decided that it was going to be 21 million, which helps with things like inflation and things like that. Like, we don't really know how much gold is in the ground, but we know that there's going to be like only going to be 21 million mined Bitcoins. So they know that there won't be like a ton more kind of like thrown into like into the network.
There's a max out.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about myself and a viewer watching right now thinking, okay, so how does this affect my life. Now, there's some examples in the news recently that we've been talking about. There was a man who said, put his house up for sale recently.
Yeah,
said,
in Miami.
That's right. And said, I only want Bitcoin.
Yeah,
right?
so that's interesting too. It's again, going back to the point, you can't really go to use Bitcoins to buy coffee and things like that. But because people are seeing these other asset classes like real estate and the stock market getting really inflated, that people are trusting that Bitcoin's going to be the future. There isn't an overlord like I talked about before, and they trust that. And so they actually want the Bitcoins more than they would want some of these other currencies that can go up and down. You know, our dollar goes up and down with oil prices and things like that. So they just see it as the future and like more of a safer bet, or at least a way to kind of spread their money around.
It's so fascinating. Okay, you mentioned up and down. Let's talk about a down. What kind of challenges does Bitcoin face?
Right, so right now, one of them is that it's super volatile. So when exactly a year ago, it was worth $1,000, one Bitcoin. And like right now it's worth like $12,000, and it went up to like $19,000 like in December. So it is doing these huge ups and downs, these big swings. And so volatility for people who are just like, I just want to make sure that the money's sitting in my bank account. I don't want it shooting up and down 30%.
This may not be your best bet.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, I think you'll get a little barfy, right, on the roller coaster ride.
Exactly.
So that's one problem for sure. And then there's a lot of competition coming on as well. So
I was going to ask you there. This obviously is not the only cryptocurrency.
That's right. So because Bitcoin is like the gold standard, it's the biggest one, it's been around for the longest. But there are other Bitcoins like Ethereum and Litecoin as well, and they have cheaper fees to be able to send it back and forth, and a faster processing rate. So if you and I are changing Bitcoins, it takes approximately like 10 minutes, and some of the new coins that are on the market, they can do it at a shorter period of time, like a quicker transaction fee. So there's these little, and they each are for different little segments. Like Ethereum has, it's made for enterprises, and there's actually a contract built into the blockchain. So once you've achieved all the things that you and I had to deal with, then you're rewarded the coins. So I know it's a brand new world.
You're right. You just have to sort of like turn the switch a little bit to start to think a little bit differently about all this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was saying to you off camera, maybe it's like I literally don't like change.
Yeah.
That's what my problem is. Anyway, we'll all adjust.
We totally will. Just like music, like you have.
No, you know
right?
what? You're so right. You're so right. Well, we appreciate your time this morning and to break this all down for us.
Yeah,
Thanks so much, David.
Thanks.